The galaxy was burning. Whole star systems that once shined with life were now dark and silent. Planets that had been home to billions showed only ruins from orbit. Flames and wreckage covered worlds where great cities had stood only weeks before. Enemy had come without warning. They struck fast, without mercy, without reason. Their fleets moved from system to system like a storm, leaving nothing but silence behind. Refugee ships filled the void. Broken vessels, overcrowded and damaged, drifted between the stars. Their distress calls echoed across every frequency. Help us. They are coming. Our world is gone. Please, anyone, respond. We have children aboard. We cannot survive long. But no one came. The great powers of the galaxy, the empires, the alliances, the councils, all failed. Their mighty fleets that once inspired fear were destroyed in days. Their leaders hid behind closed walls, whispering of peace while their people screamed for safety. In the shadow of this destruction, hope faded. On a lonely outpost, hidden at the edge of the Orion Arm, a small alien crew kept watch. They were not warriors. They were not leaders. They were only watchers, listeners. Their job was simple: record the signals that traveled across the stars. For weeks, they listened to nothing but despair. Every message they caught ended the same way: silence. The silence of death. But then came the voice. A transmission broke through the static, weak and broken. It was the last message of a dying world. A single alien voice spoke with no fear, only final acceptance. There is no hope left. The watchers sat in silence. Some lowered their heads. Others shut their eyes. They had heard many cries, but this one felt different. This was not just despair. It was the voice of an entire galaxy giving up. And then it happened. Another signal appeared. At first, it was faint, almost hidden beneath the static. The watchers almost missed it. One of them leaned closer, adjusting the sensors. Slowly, the sound grew clearer. It was not like the other signals. It was strong, calm, direct. The crew froze. This was not a cry for help. This was something else. The origin data began to scroll across the display. The watchers leaned forward, reading carefully. Their eyes widened. Their hearts stopped. The signal was not coming from any known power, not from the empires, not from the councils, not from any of the old colonies. It came from an unimportant, forgotten planet at the edge of a spiral arm. The planet's name appeared on their screen: Earth. The crew looked at one another in disbelief. Earth? That small, ignored world? The one most maps barely bothered to mark. What could they possibly offer? And then the voice spoke. It was deep, human, cold but steady, carrying no trace of fear. 4 words. Only 4 words. We are coming. Now. The room fell silent. No one moved. The words replayed again and again through the system. One of the watchers whispered, "Humans? But they are not ready. They are too young, too weak." Another whispered back, "And why do I feel afraid?" Across the galaxy, the signal spread. Through broken relay stations, across ruined star networks, through the shattered remains of once great fleets, the words echoed. Survivors in broken ships heard it. Hiding colonies heard it. Soldiers on dying worlds heard it. For the first time in years, the message was not despair. It was not a cry for help. It was a promise, and promises from humans carried weight. Whispers began among survivors. Old stories came back, tales of the Deathworlders, the ones who came from a planet of storms, fire, and endless struggle. Tales of a species that never surrendered, no matter the cost. Still, many doubted. What could humans truly do? They had no empire, no fleets across the stars. They were too few, too far, too forgotten, but the message kept playing. Over and over. Again, calm, Certain. Final. We are coming now. The watchers sat frozen, staring at their screens. For the first time, they felt something they had not felt in years. Something dangerous. Hope. And across the stars. In the heart of their blue world, Earth began to wake up. Hidden warships stirred beneath oceans. Bunkers deep under mountains opened. Engines that had not roared in centuries came alive. The Deathworlders were answering the call. The galaxy did not yet understand what those 4 words meant, but soon, very soon, they would. Because when the galaxy lost all hope, it did not end in silence. It ended with humanity. The signal from Earth spread like fire across broken space. Survivors whispered it on dying ships. Hidden colonies repeated it through secret channels. Even in the ruins of destroyed worlds, the message echoed, "We are coming now." At first, many laughed. Humans? From that forgotten planet? A world, no. Empire respected, no council invited, no fleet feared. The galaxy had always called Earth primitive. Their ships were old, their numbers small, their reach tiny compared to the great powers. What can they do? Alien leaders muttered. The humans will throw their tiny fleet into the fire and be crushed like all the rest. But the survivors did not laugh. They remembered old stories. Legends told of Earth as a death world, a place where nature itself tried to kill everything that lived. Storms that ripped apart entire regions. Seas that swallowed ships. Lands of fire and ice. Deserts without water. Jungles filled with poison. And yet, somehow, humans survived. They did not just survive, they thrived. They built homes on mountains, on frozen tundras, in the middle of deserts. They fought beasts larger than themselves with only stone and fire. They rose again and again, no matter how much the world tried to break them. The galaxy forgot these stories, but survivors had not. Now, with hope gone, they whispered, if death could not kill them, maybe nothing can. Far away, on the blue planet itself, Earth was stirring. For centuries, humans had been silent. While alien empires expanded, fought, wars, and collapsed, Earth kept to itself. Other species believed humans were too weak to matter. But deep underground, in secret bases hidden from scanners, humanity had been preparing. Beneath mountains, colossal bunkers opened. Dust fell from steel doors not touched for generations. Inside, soldiers walked through endless corridors where engines roared back to life. In the depths of the oceans, black shapes moved. Submerged war machines, older than any empire still standing, rose toward the surface. Their hulls gleamed with strange armor, forged from metals no alien had ever seen. And in orbit, silent stations powered on. Beacons lit, fleets aligned, ancient codes unlocked. The humans had waited, watched, prepared. Now the galaxy's cry for help had reached them. And Earth was answering. At the alien listening post, the watchers could hardly believe what they were seeing. Their sensors picked up sudden movements around Sol, the human system. Multiple energy spikes, one of them reported. Massive construction, no activation. They had this hidden all along. They were pretending to be weak, another whispered. For centuries, the crew felt a shiver. What kind of species hides its strength for so long, waiting in silence until the perfect moment to strike? In the Galactic Council, panic broke out. The few surviving leaders argued, shouted, and accused one another. Some called for humanity to be stopped before they made things worse. Others begged to send envoys, to ally with Earth before it was. Too late, but it was already too late. Human fleets were moving. The first sighting came from a dying colony on the edge of enemy space. The colony had no defenders left. Enemy ships orbited above, preparing the final strike. Families huddled in bunkers underground, waiting for the end. Then the sky burned. Dozens of massive warships tore out of hyperspace. Their hulls were black as night, edges sharp, engines glowing like white fire. No banners, no emblems, only silence and steel. The colonists froze in shock. Who were they? What empire sent them? And then the answer came in the old tongue of Earth, translated across every channel. This is Terran Fleet Command. You are safe. Stay underground. We will handle this. The humans had arrived. The battle was brutal. Enemy ships turned instantly, rushing to destroy the newcomers. They expected fear. They expected retreat. But the Terran fleet did not flinch. The first human volley lit the void. Blue-white beams cut through enemy hulls like paper. Torpedoes struck with precision, splitting warships in half. Drones swarmed from hidden bays, tearing into fighters before they could even form formations. The colonists underground listened to the explosions. In the skies above, they expected defeat. Instead, the screams they heard on the comms came from the enemy. For the first time, the destroyers were being destroyed. The council watched in shock. Reports spread across every channel. Enemy fleet destroyed. Unknown. Warships, Terran origin. Humans are fighting back. In survivor outposts, cheers broke out. People who had given up, who had believed the galaxy was already lost, now whispered the same words. They came. The humans really came. But not everyone celebrated. Deep within enemy command, the truth was spreading. Their scouts had confirmed it. Earth had awakened. For centuries, the enemy believed the galaxy was weak, broken, and cowardly, that no one would stand in their way. But now a new challenger had entered the war, one that should not exist, one they had never prepared for. Enemy commander, hidden within his dark throne room, gave a single order: send everything. Kill them before hope spreads. On Earth, the humans already knew the response was coming. They had not entered the war blindly. Their fleets were moving with purpose, with strategy, with a cold and patient plan, because humans did not fight only to survive. They fought to win. And as the galaxy watched, still in shock, one truth became clear. When Earth Street, the galaxy held its breath. Rumors of the humans had already spread faster than light. Entire systems repeated the same words. They came. The humans came. But rumors were not enough. The galaxy wanted proof. Proof that this small, forgotten world could stand against the unstoppable enemy. That proof came sooner than anyone expected. In the shattered system of Kelver 9, an alien convoy tried to escape. Dozens of refugee ships, small transports, broken freighters, and even mining barges were being hunted. Enemy warships circled them like predators around prey. The convoy's distress call echoed through space, but no one answered. The alien families aboard knew they would not survive. The enemy always destroyed survivors. And then the stars changed. A ripple of light appeared in the darkness. Engines burned with white fire. Massive shapes tore out of hyperspace. It was them. The Terran fleet. The humans arrived without warning, without fear. Black-hulled warships stretched across the void, each one bristling with weapons. The largest ship at the center transmitted a single message. This is Terran Command. Convoy, stay behind us. Engage enemy at will. The aliens on the convoy gasped. The humans weren't running. They were charging straight at the enemy fleet. The enemy commander snarled. Primitive deathworlders. Break them. Their fleet surged forward. Warships locked weapons. Fighters launched like swarms of metal insects. The enemy was confident. They had crushed every fleet they faced. Why should these newcomers be any different? But the humans were different. The first human salvo tore across the battlefield. White lances of plasma cut straight through enemy shields. Torpedoes smashed into cruisers, splitting them into fireballs. Swarms of drones poured from Terran hangars, their movements sharp and coordinated, diving into the enemy ranks like hunters. Alien. Survivors aboard the convoy could hardly believe their eyes. The humans fought like they had done this 1,000 times before, but the enemy was vast, and they did not break easily. Wave after wave of enemy ships pushed forward, surrounding the humans, trying to overwhelm them with sheer numbers. Explosions lit the void. Enemy fire slammed into human hulls. Some Terran ships were torn apart, scattering debris across the battlefield. Yet the humans did not retreat. Every time a ship fell, 2 more moved in to cover the gap. Every time the enemy tried to encircle them, the humans broke through with precision fire and brutal speed. The aliens on the convoy watched in awe. These were not desperate defenders. These were predators. Inside the command ship TFS Resolute, Admiral Armin Kane stood calm, eyes locked on the tactical map. His voice was steady, cold, without a trace of panic. Target their flagships, break their lines. Show them what it means to fight humans. The fleet obeyed. Human warships surged, forward in tight formations, cutting through enemy cruisers like blades. A Terran destroyer, already burning from heavy fire, rammed straight into an enemy battleship, detonating in a blaze that ripped the larger vessel apart. The crew had chosen death to take their enemy with them. The alien refugees stared in shock. They had never seen such resolve. The battle raged for hours. The void became a graveyard of wreckage and fire. Still, the humans fought on. At last, the enemy commander's voice cracked through the comms. Fall back, regroup. Destroy the convoy, leave the humans to us later. But it was too late. The humans had already broken their fleet. One by one, the enemy warships tried to flee, only to be hunted down by Terran interceptors. No mercy was given. The humans knew the truth. If even one enemy ship escaped, it would come back with more. And so, they finished them all. Silence filled the system. The convoy ships floated untouched. The humans had taken every blow for them. Refugees pressed their hands to the glass, staring at the Terran fleet with disbelief. Finally, a message came across all channels, firm and calm. You are safe now. Humanity has heard your call. We will not leave you. For many in the convoy, tears fell. They had not cried in years, not since their homeworlds burned. And now, for the first time, they cried not from despair, but from hope. But hope was dangerous. Far away. Enemy high command received the reports. Entire fleets destroyed. Survivors saved. Refugees whispering the same word. Humanity. The enemy leaders were furious. Their war had spread without challenge for centuries, and now this single species dared to stand against them? The order was given. No more delays. Gather the fleets. Crush Earth before their fire spreads across the stars. Back aboard the Resolute, Admiral Kane listened to intercepted enemy transmissions. He did not smile. He did not relax. He knew what was coming. They will come for us now, he said quietly. Good. Let them. His officers turned to him in silence, waiting. Kane's eyes burned with iron resolve. Because we are not here just to survive. We are here to finish this war. And across the galaxy, survivors repeated the human words again and again. We are coming now. The message was no longer just a promise. It was war. The battle at Kelver 9 became legend overnight. Refugees who had seen it with their own eyes spread the story. They spoke of black Terran warships cutting through impossible odds. They told, though, the humans shielded them with their own ships, how they fought without hesitation, how they did not retreat. Soon, whispers turned to hope. For the first time in generations, the galaxy dared to believe in survival. But hope was fragile. The enemy had not been defeated. Their fleets still stretched across hundreds of systems. Entire sectors still burned. Survivors still fled from world to world, chased like animals. And now, the enemy focused on one thing: destroying Earth. They sent more fleets, larger than before, determined to crush the humans before their courage infected the rest of the galaxy. On Earth, humanity prepared. Across the oceans, shipyards that had been silent for centuries roared to life. The seas boiled as titanic vessels rose from hidden dry docks. In orbit, massive rings spun, constructing carriers the size of cities. Factories on Mars and the moons of Jupiter poured out weapons at a pace no alien industry could match. But weapons alone were not enough. Humanity knew they could not fight this war alone. So they sent out a different message, one not of fear, not of despair, but of unity. To all survivors, join us. We will give you protection. We will give you food, weapons, and safety. Stand with us, and together we will burn this enemy from the stars. The first to answer were broken convoys, drifting ships with no homes left. At first, they came hesitantly, expecting to be used as pawns. Instead, they were given shelter. Human medics treated their wounded. Human engineers repaired their ships. Human soldiers stood guard over their children. The survivors had never seen such things. Most galactic powers had demanded tribute, resources, or loyalty before offering protection. The humans asked for nothing, only that they keep fighting. And slowly, ship by ship, system by system, the survivors rallied. At the edge of a ruined sector, an alien captain watched his repaired freighter glide beside a Terran warship. His people had lost everything: home, family, fleets. But as he looked upon the black hull with the glowing Terran insignia, he felt something dangerous rise in his chest. Pride. For the first time, he believed his children might live to see another sunrise. Not everyone trusted humanity. Some alien leaders feared them. Humans are using us, they argued. They are building their own empire from our ruins. But the refugees, the broken, the forgotten, they had already made their choice. They followed Earth, not because of promises, but because humans fought when no one else would. The enemy soon realized the danger. Wherever the humans went, hope followed. Fleets that once surrendered now resisted. Colonies that once begged for mercy now armed themselves. Survivors who once cried now whispered the same vow: we fight. And so, the enemy struck harder. In the Gora system, they unleashed a fleet 3 times larger than the Terrans had ever faced. Entire swarms of battleships descended, determined to erase the humans and their allies in one blow. The battle began with fire. Enemy cruisers surged forward, their weapons flooding space with deadly light. Terran ships held the line, trading, blow for blow, refusing to retreat. Allied vessels patched freighters, converted miners, even old war relics joined beside them, fighting with whatever weapons they had. For hours, the two sides clashed. Wreckage filled the void. Allied ships burned. Terran destroyers broke apart. But still they held. Then the humans revealed their hidden hand. Out of hyperspace came a shadow. It was massive, so vast it blotted out the stars. A ship unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Its hull was plated in dark alloys. Its engines glowed like suns, and its weapons, row upon row of cannons, enough to level fleets alone. It was the Titan-class warship, the first of its kind. The galaxy had no word for it. The survivors called it only one thing: the human Titan. The Titan entered the battle without hesitation. Its first salvo shattered an entire enemy formation. Cruisers evaporated in fire. Battleships crumbled. The enemy's confident advance turned into chaos. On the bridge of the Titan, Captain Reyna Holt stood firm. Her voice was calm, but her words burned across every channel. "This is humanity's line. You will not pass." And they did not. The Battle of Gora ended in flames. The enemy was forced to retreat, leaving wreckage scattered across the stars. The survivors roared with victory. Ships that had once fled now painted Terran symbols on their hulls. Refugees that had once hidden in silence now raised banners of war. The flame was spreading, but victory came at a cost. The Terra. The alien Dominion believed they had already won. Their fleets were vast, their weapons unmatched, and their grip on the galaxy seemed unshakable. For centuries, no race had dared to fight them directly. When rebellions rose, the Dominion crushed them with fire. When refugees fled, the Dominion hunted them down. Entire civilizations had been erased out, so when the humans finally entered the war, many alien leaders laughed. What could Earth do? It was just one small planet, a backwater world forgotten by most of the galaxy. Compared to the Dominion, humanity was nothing. But the watchers on the listening posts knew better. They had heard the human message. They had seen the strange silence that followed. Humanity had not come to beg or to negotiate. They had come with a promise, 4 words that now haunted every commander. We are coming now. The Dominion's fleets patrolled the edges of controlled space. On the outer rim, one of their massive armadas gathered near a captured world. Thousands of warships floated in orbit, their black hulls shining like blades. The Dominion commanders prepared to launch another offensive. Suddenly, alarms echoed across their ships. Long-range scanners lit up with something unexpected, an unidentified fleet entering the system. At first, Dominion officers thought it was only a small resistance force, maybe a few stolen cruisers or a desperate band of rebels. But as the signals grew stronger, the truth became clear. It was a fleet unlike anything they had seen before. Ships of human design. The humans had arrived. The first human warship emerged from hyperspace. It was not huge, not compared to the massive Dominion dreadnoughts. But its design was different. Sleek, dark, armored like a predator. No banners. No warnings, only silence. More ships followed. Dozens. Hundreds. A formation of human warcraft surrounded the Dominion armada. Each one carried weapons the galaxy had never seen. The Dominion commander sneered. So this was Earth? A swarm of small warships trying to scare them? He ordered his fleet forward. The first shots were fired. The Dominion launched a storm of plasma fire. Great rivers of energy streaked across space, aimed to rip the human ships apart. For a moment, it seemed the humans would be overwhelmed. But then, something shocking happened. The human ships moved with impossible speed. They dodged between the blasts, weaving through the storm. Their weapons ignited beams of white light, missiles with strange warheads, cannons that cracked the void. The first Dominion cruiser exploded instantly. Then another, and another. The battlefield filled with fire as human weapons tore through. Ships that had once been thought indestructible. The alien fleets had never faced anything like it. Across the system, refugees hiding on moons and broken stations watched the battle unfold. Their eyes widened as they realized the truth. For the first time in centuries, the Dominion was not winning. The humans fought with a fury no one expected. They did not retreat. They did not hesitate. Every move was precise, every strike deadly. It was not chaos. It was war crafted with purpose. The Dominion tried to regroup, but the humans pressed harder. Ships that should have lasted hours were destroyed in seconds. Whole squadrons vanished in bursts of light. One alien refugee whispered, "They are not fighting for survival. They are fighting for victory." At the heart of the battle, the Dominion commander screamed orders. His flagship, a colossal dreadnought, fired its main cannon. A beam of power large enough to melt a moon blasted toward the human fleet. But the humans had prepared for it. One of their larger ships, a carrier unlike any seen before, moved forward. It unleashed a shield of pure energy. The Dominion beam hit it head-on and stopped. The light bent, cracked, and then scattered into nothing. The dreadnought's weapon had failed. The humans answered with fire. Dozens of missiles streaked toward the dreadnought. Each one struck with terrifying precision. The great flagship trembled, burning from within. Finally, in one blinding explosion, it was gone. The Dominion armada broke. Panic spread across the enemy fleet. Some tried to retreat, others to fight back, but it was useless. The humans chased them, cutting down ship after ship. Their war cry was not spoken in words. It was written in fire across the stars. For the first time, the Dominion suffered a true defeat. And across the galaxy, whispers spread. The humans have come. They can fight the Dominion. There is hope again. But with hope came fear. Because if humanity could destroy an armada so easily, what else were they capable of? The galaxy had not yet seen the full strength of Earth. This was only the first strike, and the humans were just beginning. The alien fleet waited in silence above the ruined colony world of Valor. Ships drifted like dark shadows, their weapons armed, ready to strike at any sign of life. The Dominion commanders were confident. To them, the war was already over. No power in the galaxy had stopped them. No one had dared to answer the cries for help. But then something happened. The blackness of space trembled. Tiny dots appeared in the far distance, faint at first, like sparks in the dark. The Dominion fleet scanned them. At first, they thought it was debris, maybe fragments of old ships. But the sparks grew brighter. They were moving fast. Too fast. The Dominion commander narrowed his eyes. Magnify, he ordered. The screens lit up. The dots sharpened into clear shapes. Ships, hundreds, thousands. Their designs were strange, sleek, sharp, built for war in ways the Dominion had never seen before. And at the center, a massive vessel, larger than any battleship the Dominion had ever created, moved with silent purpose. Unknown origin, the sensor officer whispered. They do not match any records in the galactic archives. The commander's voice cracked. Where are they from? The answer came not from the officers, but from the comms channel. A voice cut through the static, calm and human. This is Earthfleet Command. You brought war to innocent worlds. Now war has come to you. The Dominion bridge fell silent. For the first time, fear entered their cold eyes. The word Earth was whispered across their channels, spreading like wildfire. A forgotten world, a primitive planet, a people the galaxy had once ignored. Now they were here armed, ready, and unafraid. The first volley came without warning. Human ships fired in perfect formation. Beams of white light slashed across the void, tearing into Dominion cruisers. Shields collapsed instantly. Hulls cracked, apart like paper. Entire ships exploded in flames, scattering across the stars. The Dominion panicked. Return fire. Destroy them. Their cannons roared, filling space with burning plasma. But the human ships moved like predators, weaving through. Fire with impossible precision. Their weapons answered in waves, cutting through the Dominion fleet as if it were nothing. The great powers of the galaxy had always fought slow wars, measured, careful, political. But the humans fought differently. They fought to end it. Every shot counted. Every move was deadly. In less than 10 minutes, a third of the Dominion fleet was gone. The refugee ships watching from afar could hardly believe what they saw. Beaten survivors from burned worlds pressed their hands against the screens, whispering in awe. They came. The humans came. One refugee, An old captain from the Cathari people felt tears in his eyes. His voice shook as he spoke. The galaxy left us to die, but Earth did not. On the battlefield, the Dominion flagship reeled under heavy fire. Its shields flickered, dying, as human battleships surrounded it. Inside, the commander shouted desperately, "Who are they? How do they fight like this?" But deep down, he already knew the truth. These were not just soldiers. These were humans from a death world, a place where survival meant adapting, overcoming, and never surrendering. The galaxy had laughed at Earth once, but no one was laughing now. Then came the final moment of terror. The largest human warship, Titan-class carrier Erebus, moved forward. Its black hull blocked out the stars, glowing with lines of red energy. A single message was broadcast across every Dominion channel, heard by allies, enemies, and refugees alike. This is not revenge. This is justice. The Erebus opened fire. Storm of weapons, thousands of missiles, and beams brighter than suns poured into the Dominion flagship. The giant vessel shuddered, broke apart, and exploded in a blinding wave of fire. The Dominion commander never had time to scream. The sky itself seemed to burn. Silence followed. Broken Dominion ships drifted like ashes. And in that silence, the galaxy realized something terrifying. Humanity was no longer the forgotten world on the edge of the stars. They were here, and they were unstoppable.